Now, Expedia Group has proved itself to be a partner for destinations in these difficult times. We have the pleasure today to count on Ms. Younes, Director of Business Development, to discuss how to reignite demand for destinations with the case of Menorca tourism.
Good morning. It's great to be here. Very energizing to be back in an in-person event, and very pleased to be talking about Menorca, a destination that is very close to my heart, and I'll tell you why in a second. So, what we wanted to share with you today is how we helped Menorca in the past year, during one of the most challenging times for the destination, drive recovery, recover and rebuild for 2021. And hopefully this will also be some best practice that other destinations can replicate as you look to drive recovery for 2021. This is what we have been focusing in the past year, helping destinations during one of the hardest crises that our sector has faced. So before we begin, just a little bit about myself. My name is Myriam Younes. I'm the Director of Business Development for Expedia Group Media Solutions for the region of EMEA and India. On a side note and on the personal front, why Menorca is very close to my heart is because I love this destination and decided to get married there 4 years ago, and loved it so much that we invited our friends and family to join us there. And I kid you not, to this day, they still thank me for enabling them to discover this gem of an island. So word of mouth also works really well. So a little bit about what we do. You might be familiar with Expedia Group as one of the largest OTAs in the world. Expedia Group Media Solution is the advertising arm of the group. So we're a global travel advertising brand. And what we do is we connect marketers, so destinations, hotels, airlines, and any partners that would like to benefit from our reach with travel shoppers. And we do that at global scales on all of our brands, Expedia, Hotels.com, Orbit, Travelocity, Verbo, just to name a few. We also work with governments, ministries of tourism, and global associations like UNWTO and more like these. And it's become increasingly important, especially now, as government decisions influence so much the decisions that travel shoppers make when it comes to the destination that they choose to go to. So we also work on that front and support the destinations in that sense and in that area. I guess the first point, and probably most important point that I would like to make today, is now is the time to be visible. Why is that? Because it may not seem like it, but travelers are online. They are searching, they are dreaming, and they want nothing more than to be planning for the next trip. We have seen through various surveys the happiness boost that it gives to travelers to be planning a trip and not only to be traveling. So that is one of the reasons why they are really focused on the inspiration phase and searching for it right now. What we also see is that 85% of the searches that they're doing now is for a trip in the next 21 days. So the window is very short. It's very last minute planning, which is why it's really important for destinations to be front of mind. So again, like I said, today we would like to talk specifically about Menorca and how we supported them in 2020. We worked together with our colleagues and friends at the DMO, and the challenge was pretty simple. They needed to save the summer 2020. They decided in May that they wanted to be visible in order to try and maintain the demand for the destination during one of the highest peaks of the pandemic crisis. So what we did together was create a creative digital campaign that we ran through various channels that I'll take you through in a second, but we really needed this campaign to be three things. It needed to be visible, it needed to maintain awareness for the destination and help keep it front of mind for travel shoppers. It needed to be flexible, and I really insist on that point. And I think as you think about the recovery for 2021, it's really important that the campaigns are flexible. And that's what we did by activating at certain points in certain markets based on what we were seeing. And finally, of course, it needed to be effective. We had a challenge, we had an objective, which was drive demand and increase the searches. And they needed to see return on their investment. And I think that's becoming increasingly important also nowadays to show return on the marketing investments that you are making for your brands. So those are the three areas that we wanted to focus on as we were planning for this campaign. This is a little bit what it looked like. So we had obviously highly customized placements across our platforms. So Expedia is an online travel agency. We have sites across the world, and we had Menorca being visible both on-site and off-site. So we used also a target audience extension, which enabled Menorca and us together to reach travel shoppers outside of the Expedia ecosystem. So it's not just on the OTAs that they were visiting, but also retargeting them when they were browsing and continuing their online search. And we were using inspirational messages, we used videos, and we used some travel guides that they had also put together in order to inspire user and of course give them the ability to book and to search and to book for the destination directly on the landing page. So in terms of markets that they targeted, which ones and why? We have an in-house data platform. We have billions of data points that we use in order to determine the travelers' behaviors, the travelers' sentiments, what we are seeing in terms of searches and bookings to understand when is the best moment to activate a campaign. So in the Menorca case, we saw that in Spain, so the domestic market, in France and in Italy, we were still seeing some searches for the destination. So we decided to focus on those markets also because there was a direct route from those feeder markets into Menorca. This was the landing page that the campaign was redirecting to, so it's a completely customized and dedicated landing page that is on Expedia Group to enable travelers to get familiar with the destination, understand that everything that the destination has to offer, and again, like I said, book their trip should they decide to. So now the results, I guess that's the most important thing. And of course, if it hadn't been successful, I wouldn't be talking about it today. We achieved the goal that we had set ourselves. And what we saw is a dramatic increase in searches to the destination on the 3 markets that we had targeted during the campaign period. We saw a strong uplift both on the domestic and on the international demand. And I think what is important here to note and why the strategy was so effective is because we started with the domestic market. And then as we were seeing that the restrictions were easing and travelers were more able to travel from France and Italy, then we activated the campaign. So the idea was to be ready. And that's something that I recommend for all of the destinations that are thinking about recovery and advertising for 2021. Is be ready and work with flexible platforms where you can easily turn on the advertising where you see that there is an opportunity. Because like I said at the beginning, the window is very short. So we saw it recently in the UK. We saw that some countries were put on the green list. And what we saw is the dramatic increase in bookings to those destinations, but in the days that followed the announcement. So if you're not visible before that, then you have almost missed your window. And it's something to really keep in mind. So really the key takeaways that I would like you to take from this presentation as we think about Menorca and as we think about recovery for destinations and partners in 2021 is track the destination demand. So work with data experts. It's more important than ever. I think data has always been driving our marketing strategies, but it's becoming increasingly important now that we need to be flexible and activate at the right time and in the right place. Plan for every scenario. I think this is no news to you. We are in very uncertain times where it's not 100% clear when and where travelers are going to be able to go. So create multiple media plans so that you're prepared. Again, as soon as an opportunity opens, you can be visible and you can be front of mind. And then that goes in line with what I just said, is activate at the right time. Use smart data and insights to drive your strategy so that you can activate your the demand when you see that the searches are the highest point. And really that's it. So as I said, my name is Myriam Younes. Feel free to contact me on LinkedIn since we cannot give business cards for safety reasons. So if you would like to discuss more about this or have a better understanding about data and how travelers are behaving right now, feel free to contact me and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Thank you very much for your attention.